Wow. I like how I opened the chat because I shut it so that way it wouldn't like lag me out. And the first thing I see is So scheduled this live and the dum dum didn't know it opened chat. I feel attacked. Hello history. Hello Deadpool. So I do have some folklore and stories I want to read. Whether it is uploaded something nice. I have to why my hair is darker than normal. I don't know what's going on with that. I'll have to fix that. But hello. Humble up. I didn't know, okay? You can't attack me. I didn't know. Read. Yes, Deadpool. Hi. You can. I am attack you. Well, damn. I'm gonna move this up here. Oh, I got the hiccups. I have not drank tonight, so tonight I am sober. I'm gonna give it until the 5-minute mark, then I'm gonna start you saying for Poppy Playtime the 5th chapter comes out tomorrow. I did not know that, and I do not have the funds to buy it yet. But damn. Sure, Deadpool. You put it into community. Let me take a look at that too real quick. Hold on. Visit community. Newest. Oh, you made the Great Guardian. Cool. Jesus, Deadpool, that's dark. So you have to click newest. It is good, Deadpool. Left, right. Okay, so I'm gonna be transparent. Uh, like normal, when I'm reading these stories, I'm not going to respond to chat until after the stories. I've only got a few of them because I didn't have a massive list I wanted to do. Some of them are from Japan, some are uh, Chinese, some are Indonesian, one is from Thailand, and I have one from the Philippines. I'm going to start, and like I said, please bear with me. I don't have any in Mexico just yet. If you have any from Mexico you want me to do, give me a couple and I'll add them to my paper. Because I put it all into a Word document. Actually, I'll pick a random one. Okay, I've got one. La Singubana. Pretty sure that's Hispanic or Mexican. Is that correct? And did I pronounce that properly? I don't think I did. Add that to the list. Scariest. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna start with the Ubume, which is Japanese. In ancient Japan, the Ubume was a spirit tied to the fate of mothers and children. She appeared to warn, protect, and very seldom mourn. Her presence tied to untimely death during childbirth. Families who respected her rights found solace. Those who ignored them found grief. The Ubume would often appear as a woman carrying a newborn. At first glance, she seems human, sorrowful, and desperate, walking along roadsides or near riverbanks. Those who approached her were sometimes asked to hold the child. When the spirit vanished, the child would transform into a bundle of leaves, a stone, or disappear altogether, leaving the observer in awe and fear. Stories emphasized that the Ubume was neither malicious nor forgiven. Her appearance was a reflection of neglect, improper burial, or untended graves. Parents told their children to respect the dead, to maintain the graves, and to honor life with a ritual. The Ubume served as both a cautionary tale and a guardian, forever tied to the cycle of life and death. Yeah, Deadpool. I'd rather not talk about the Epstein files. Like, I get it. They're fucked up. I've already read the entirety of the Epstein files as far as I could. Trust me, I know. I really don't, I don't enjoy them. You're good. Okay. Now, having done the first story, I've got to ask, how is everybody doing tonight? Is everybody okay? Who's all tired and who's just chilling here? I gotta turn on... Why are you not on power cool? No wonder I'm hot in here. And not in a fun way. Let me turn that down a bit. So that way the microphone isn't picking up everything. Yeah, there's several streams that have these stories up. Because I've been reading Folklore relatively often. Yes. But yes, other than that, how are you guys doing? And while I'm waiting for that response, the next story is the Akaname. Among the many spirits spoken of in old Japanese households, the Akaname was not feared for sudden violence, but for what it revealed. It was said that the Akaname did not appear without cause. Where it walked, neglect had already taken root. In villages and towns, elders warned that a home reflected the state of its inhabitants. A clean home invited fortune and health. A filthy home invited decay of both body and spirit. From this belief came the Akaname, a yokai born not from death, but from carelessness allowed to linger. The Akaname was described as small and hunched, no taller than a child, with skin red as raw flesh exposed to the air. Its eyes gleamed faintly in the darkness, and its hands ended in hooked claws that scraped softly against the wood and stone. Most terrible of all was its tongue, long, thick, and wet, hanging from its mouth even when closed, capable of reaching far beyond what a human body should allow. It is said to dwell in abandoned bathhouses, unused washrooms, and neglected homes where grime has gathered in corners and water has stagnated. During the day, it remains unseen, hiding within shadows and damp places. Only at night does it move, slipping silently through the cracks in doors or broken walls. Those who witnessed the Akaname spoke of waking in the night to a faint rhythmic sound, slow and deliberate, like a wet cloth dragged across stone. By lantern light, they sometimes glimpsed the creature crouched over a tub wall, licking away layers of filth with its long tongue. It did not attack, and it did not flee unless discovered. It simply continued its task, as though compelled. The danger of the Akaname was not in claws or teeth, but in what followed. Homes visited by it soon fell under misfortune. Children developed fevers that would not break, and adults suffered the wasting illness, sores that would not heal, and a weakness that lingered for months. Physicians failed to find causes, and prayers offered too late bring an answer. Because of this, the Akaname was understood not merely as a monster, but as a warning. Its appearance matched a failure of responsibility. To allow filth to gather was to invite sickness, and sickness, once invited, does not leave easily. In some regions, it was believed that seeing the Akaname meant the house must be cleansed immediately. Floors scrubbed, baths drained and purified, and offerings of clean water and salt were placed at entrances. If the house was restored properly and without delay, the Akaname would not return. But if the neglect continues, the spirit is said to grow bolder, returning night after night until the household collapses into illness and poverty. Thus parents warn their children not only to fear the Akaname, but to understand it. Filth was not merely dirt, it was an opening through which ruin entered. No, because you didn't miss anything. Did you know your favorite types of stream? Yes, I'm reading stories. Like I said, between stories I'll talk, but while I'm actually reading, unfortunately you guys will have to suffer, and I do apologize. We love how you forget to feed your subs content in Portuguese, Brazilian, Scotland, listening to videos in English. As someone American lives illegally in Brazil and they try to speak English. Now that I give context to my art called Good Paint. Oh, God Paint. It got called God Paint. S tier comment. Give that person a high five. Sounds like a comment I would give. God Paint. It's my fault. You sometimes forget to speak Portuguese because of me. I'm sorry. My head is just like all over the place. Boop. Jesus, why is that a comment that you had to deal with? I'm gonna kick my nephew in the head. Sorry, for context, he's sending me requests to play games because I have his VR with child lock because he's my nephew and he's a very creepy kid. So anytime he wants to download a game, it makes me tell him if he can or not. Okay. Now, the next one. This is remember the Teke story I told? This one is a more fleshed out version of it, so it gives more of what it actually was, rather than just talking about how it was a lady who fell into the train tracks and died. So, we're gonna go with Teke. Let me zoom out a little bit. And it is once more, she is a Japanese spirit. Before she became a name spoken only in fear, Teke was a living woman. In the accounts passed down, her personal name is never agreed upon, and the absence is actually deliberate. What mattered was not who she was, but how she was completely erased. She lived during a time where trains were already common. Safety was poorly enforced, though. Railways cut through towns and neighborhoods, close enough that the children played nearby, and adults crossed the tracks without a single thought. Accidents were frequent, but spoken of only briefly. To dwell on them was considered unlucky. This woman was said to have fallen onto the tracks late at night. Some claimed it was an accident brought on by exhaustion. Others whispered that she had been pushed, though no accusations have ever been proven. What was agreed upon was the sound the train made as it passed, and the way her body was found afterwards, cut cleanly in two, her lower half destroyed instantly, her upper body left alive just long enough to understand what happened. No proper prayers were ever spoken when she died, and the train did not stop. Her body was removed quickly, wrapped, and then taken away. The place was then cleaned. By morning, nothing remained to mark the death. Not long after, people began to hear sounds at night near the tracks. A sharp, hollow noise echoed along the ground, repeating in a steady rhythm at first. At first, it was mistaken for metal cooling or animals moving beneath the platforms. Those who investigated too closely discovered the truth. She appeared, dragging herself forward on her elbows, her body ending where it should not. Blood did not flow, but the wound was open and long, as though refusing to close. Her face was pale and twisted with pain that had never ended. She did not cry out, she did not beg, she moved. The sound she made as she traveled, came from bone and flesh striking stone. From this sound, she took her name. Those who saw her said she was impossibly fast. Though she only had half a body, she crossed streets and platforms quicker than a running Medusa. To see her was to be noticed by her. Once noticed, there was no escape. She chased silently. Victims ran until their legs failed, until breath burned in their lungs, until they fell. When she caught them, she did not speak or hesitate. She tore them apart, slicing their bodies in half as the train had done to her. In this way, she repeated her death among the living. In early tellings, there were no instructions for survival, no charms, no prayers, no tricks. The story was told without mercy. If you heard the sound, it was already too late. If you saw her, you would die. Parents warned children never to linger near the tracks at night, and adults avoided walking alone. The story is not meant to offer hope, only prevention. Silence surrounds the tale, for to speak too freely of Teke was believed to draw her attention. She remains a reminder of the deaths ignored, accidents erased too quickly, and the belief that some spirits are not born from evil, but from neglect so complete that even death is unfinished. Deadpool, yes, you did read it. Lulz, you didn't really miss anything. You have school tomorrow with Flex Colleagues, so go back to seeing the boy who tries to kill me every 2 days. I am sorry you have to deal with that, Lulz. If I was out there, I'd kick him in the head. So, to be brutally honest with me right now, if you were in an hour joy, what you gonna do? I'm low key. No, you won't, Lulz. You're not allowed to do that. If I was in the hour of joy, what am I doing? I'm helping the toys. Look, in the hour of joy, you're not allowed to do that, Lulz. We've been over this. But let's be real, those toys are just children who were brutalized by adults who wanted to make living toys in order to have them do things. I'm gonna look at them and be like, hey, I wasn't a part of this. I got dragged in here. Fuck those guys. I'm gonna help you kill them. I'm surviving the hour of joy because I'll be able to prove that I can't stand those motherfuckers. Damn it! Desk slam. Yeah, history. You shouldn't just start praying randomly in class. I'm not saying that to disrespect. Build a boat? Oh god. Yeah, pretty much. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and let myself get killed by toys, especially when I would definitely be one of the people speaking out against the bullshit. And I would make it very clear to the toys I'm on their side. Yeah, no, Huggy Wuggy would kill you. Uh, it's kind of fucked. Okay, but that is absolutely gorgeous. I just looked in personal art. Train's gonna eat, or train him to eat your enemies. Jesus. No, Lulz, you cannot make me shut up. It is. Even Cypher says so. Hush. The Jiki Naniki. It's Japanese. In ancient Japan, it was believed that most dangerous sins were not always those committed in violence, but those hidden beneath ritual and duty. From this belief came the tale of the Chikaniki, spirits born not from ignorance of the sacred, but from the betrayal of it. The Chikaniki were once human. In many tellings, they were monks assigned to remote villages or mountain temples entrusted with the care of the dead. Their duties were clear: to perform funerary rites, guard the bodies of the deceased, and ensure that prayers were spoken so the soul can pass onwards without disturbance. In life, the monks outwardly fulfilled their roles. They chanted sutras, rang bells, and accepted offerings from grieving families. But beneath the appearance, some harbored a quiet resentment. Isolated from society, poorly fed, and forgotten by the world, they began to covet the offerings left for the dead. Food, drink, and coins meant to sustain the spirit on its journey. At first, theft was small, a portion of rice taken after the prayers were finished, a sip of sake once the mourners had gone. Over time, the boundary between necessity and greed dissolved. The offerings were consumed not for survival, but desire. When such a monk died, the betrayal followed him beyond the grave. His soul was denied release and twisted by punishment into the Chikaniki, a human-eating spirit. By day, the Chikaniki appeared as a living person, often continuing to reside in temples or huts. They spoke with shame, their voices heavy with regret, fully aware of their fate. By night, however, the curse took hold. Overwhelmed by hunger beyond endurance, the Chikaniki were compelled to seek out corpses. They crept into graveyards and mortuaries, tearing into the bodies of the newly dead, and devouring them in secret. Though they despised their actions, they were powerless to resist. One well-known account tells of a traveling monk who sought shelter in a remote village plagued by strange disturbances. The villagers spoke of graves desecrated overnight and bodies found mutilated. Fearing curses, they begged the monk to investigate. That night, hidden among the tombs, the monk witnessed a horrific sight. A creature crouched over a corpse, consuming it with animalistic desperation. When confronted at dawn, the creature revealed itself as a village priest, now fully aware of his monstrous fate. Weeping, the Chikaniki confessed his sins and begged for prayers. The traveling monk performed rites of mercy, offering what compassion he could. Yet even then, the curse was not undone. Awareness does not bring salvation. The story of the Chikaniki was taught as a warning that sacred duties performed without sincerity hollow the soul, and that some punishments are not released by regret alone. To betray the dead was to become bound to them forever. No, lulz, we aren't wrong. Chilling into the prototype shows up. Domain expansion, infinite blocks. Wouldn't work. It would 100% not work. I can understand that, and I'm sorry that I'm not there to make it better. Everyone deserves to not be afraid of going back to classes. Yeah, you get to see Duda. Good. I'm glad your dad has a gun. Oh, my instructor at the academy wants to see my gun, but I'm not allowed to bring it on site without it being in a double locked container, even unloaded. So I don't eat bullets. I just have one. What's up, Deadpool? Also, hello, Cypher. Today you had a prescription in school, and it's so embarrassing and awkward. Damn. Wait, why are you sorry? What happened? Your messages won't go through. Lulz, are you trying to send something inappropriate again? Domain expansion. Asian dad. Hello, Lauren. Lorraine. Yes, what's up? No to doing it to yourself, lulz. If anything, it would be the boy. Wait, you're late, Z? I told you, you shouldn't be messing with those guys where you're at. Why are my eyes stuck? There you go, fix it. Well, you said you were late. I told you not to mess with those guys where you're at. It's okay, Ghost. We both know it's me. Okay. The next story that I'm gonna do is from China. It's just called The Hungry Ghosts. But that's gonna be a second. Hold on, I got one in response to that, Lils. Let me come to YouTube really quick, and I hope I can find the audio. Okay, this is what comes to mind. I hope this is the right audio. But this is what comes to mind anytime I hear that this town ain't big enough for the two of us. This is what I think of every time I want to talk to a friend of mine. Just muted. Yes.
Isn't big enough for the two of us? Well, yeah, but we can share. This town is big enough for the two of us. Doesn't the saying normally go, this town isn't big enough for the two of us? Well, yeah, but we can share. I'm okay. Best buddy anyways.
I love that. Before the town. Okay, but the laugh fits mine. You need money, so you're robbing places. Hey, I need money too. Send some of that my way. That's a joke. Don't rob anything. I have candy, so I'm eating that also while I'm reading the chat. Wait, what was the OG first question? Z, it doesn't show every single thing here because the stream started and it reset the chat. What was your first question, dude? Oh god. I shut up, nerd. Last video got called God Paint, Fire. It's like you're gonna be coming inside. I don't know. I don't. Eh. I don't know the question. I couldn't find it. What was your question? What do you mean am I throwing away my shot? We both know I don't sing live. In traditional Chinese belief, death did not end desire. What a person carried within themselves in life followed them beyond it. Those who lived ruled by greed, jealousy, cruelty, or excess were believed to carry those hungers into the afterlife, where then they became their punishment. From this understanding, they became the hungry ghosts. Hungry ghosts were not spirits of sudden crime, but of accumulating imbalance. They were often former officials who abused power, merchants who cheated the desperate, or children who neglected their parents, or individuals who consumed without restraint while others starved. Their sins were not always spectacular, but they were persistent. These spirits were described as having distended bellies swollen with need, yet necks as thin as needles. Their mouths were small, cracked, and unable to open wide. Though surrounded by food and drink, they could never consume it properly. Anything they attempted to eat burst into flame and turned to ash, or dissolved into smoke before passing their throats. They wandered endlessly between worlds, unforeseen by most of the living, drawn to kitchens, markets, temples, or burial grounds. Their suffering was constant, however. Hunger burned within them without pause, and thirst cracked them open from the inside. They wailed softly, their voices thin and dry, carrying across empty streets at night. It was believed that during the 7th lunar month, the gates between worlds opened, spirits without desires or proper rites were released, and the hungry ghosts roamed freely among the living. This time became known as the Hungry Ghost Festival. Families placed food, incense, and paper offerings outside their homes, not to satisfy the ghosts, which was impossible, but to ease their suffering briefly and prevent them from harming the living out of desperation. Priests recited sutras to guide lost spirits and remind them of compassion they had abandoned in life. To encounter a hungry ghost directly was considered dangerous. Their envy of the living could bring illness, misfortune, or lingering nightmares. Children were warned not to wander at night during the festival month, and adults avoided unnecessary travel. The hungry ghosts were not monsters to be hunted or destroyed. They were lessons made visible, that unchecked desire hollowed the soul, and that neglect of ritual bound suffering to both the dead and living. To remember them was not to fear them, but to understand what awaited those who lived only to consume. Hello, Yuto. Let's go. You stopped your friend. Let's talk about a paper. Cool. Hello, Shane. YouTube's not down, is it? Hello? My YouTube's up. Hello, Smile. Yeah, I have it up on my phone. What's going on? Are you guys not able to see me? Oh, no, my YouTube's not struggling. Wait. No, I'm not struggling. Oh, I'm confused. How is YouTube struggling? It seems to be doing fine. What? You know, I just opened it up on my phone, and it's doing fine. Huh. You sent me some Czech mythology? I will read that after the list. But I do have that. It is now added to my list. I'm I'm going to butcher how it is pronounced, but we will do. Okay, so let me go back up here. We just read The Hungry Ghost. That is terrifying, Deadpool. Huh. Now, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm not lagging, but YouTube itself is. Okay, so the next story is an Indonesian story. In the Malay archipelago, the death of a mother during childbirth was considered a calamity, not only for the family, but for the spirit world. When the woman died in labor, especially under betrayal or abandonment, her soul was unable to rest, giving rise to the Pontianak. The Pontianak was said to appear as a beautiful young woman with long black hair, usually cascading past her shoulders, and skin as pale as the moon. Her beauty is deceptive. At first glance, she seems fragile and sorrowful, seeking only comfort or attention. Villagers spoke of her soft voice and slow movements, which invited compassion, making travelers pause and offer aid. Yet her gaze carried an undertone of grief and rage. Those who observed her too closely would notice subtle signs of unnaturalness. Her feet never left the ground properly, her movement seemed unnervingly silent, and at times her shadow twisted oddly under lamplight. When she attacked, her appearance transformed. The fragile beauty dissolved, and her mouth opened impossibly wide, revealing rows of blood-stained teeth. Her eyes burned with a terrible fire, her hair lifted as though alive, and her cries echoed through the night, a wail so intense it was foretold death near. Accounts said that men were particularly vulnerable to the Pontianac's anger, and it was often directed at those who resembled the man responsible for her suffering in life. Encounters are seldom survivable. Those who saw the Pontianak at close range were reported missing the next day, or found lifeless and drained of blood. with signs that childbirth had been mirrored in horror upon them. In some villages, the sound of a baby's cries at night were taken as a warning. The Pontianak had been near. To protect against her, villagers developed rituals. Sharp objects were placed in doorways, nails driven into thresholds, and certain herbs burned in fires to repel her presence. Burial rites were sometimes repeated for the mother and the child to offer her spirit proper passage. Yet these measures were not always effective. It's believed that only sincere acknowledgement of her suffering and the fulfillment of rituals could appease her soul temporarily. The Pontianak story served not only as caution, but as a warning. It is a remembrance of the mother's untimely death, and the warning is against neglect and betrayal. Families maintain vigilance lest the grief and rage be carried into life by the Pontianak to touch them unexpectedly with darkness. That is odd. I don't know why it's doing that for you guys, because for me it's not. Because on my end, YouTube's working fine, like, completely. It might just be down in y'all's area. The homework is due tomorrow and you gotta cook, so you won't be here in chat. That's fine. You do that. Dio. I Caramel. Please don't call me Zaddy. Oh, it's showing me I have no viewers. Oh. Maybe YouTube is dying. Oops. I will see. It says I have nobody watching right now. That's not accurate. Why must you lie to me, YouTube? No, that is very odd. I wouldn't be surprised, lols. I knew I wasn't special enough to get so many of you guys to subscribe to me. I'm not surprised. No, that is very odd. Yeah, I always knew I wasn't good enough for you guys to be here watching me. I'm gonna go drown myself in candy now. I can't really read what you said, Lols. We too good to try? My brain is not processing. Also, I will say, I like how Z didn't notice that I was already in the kimono. Oh yeah, no, yeah, you guys are too good to be true. You didn't have a strong. I'm having a strong. I like how my tail pops up in the back whenever I do that. Just yeah. Hello, D-Pro. No me miro con esos hoja que me deslumbras, me derrumbas. No me mires con esos hojas porque te le doy todo. I don't know what that means. I don't know what I just read. Deadpool. English. Oh, they're lyrics. Okay, now I feel less dumb. I was just reading. I'm trying to get better with pronunciations, but you guys bully. I'm not eating any candy right now. I already ate my one piece, then I put it down. You know, I have kids. I also have 2 beers in the house. Don't make me go grab them loaves. I will drink them both. Granted, they are my last beers, so... We have a family! My tooth hurts. I think I might have to go to the dentist this weekend. Actually, let me... I'm sorry. Bear with me. I'm squirreling. I want to look up my dentist to see if I can get an appointment. Hello. No, I was making my appointment. I'm sorry. Like I said, I have a broken tooth. I might be able to get it pulled on Friday. So, for context, the tooth has been broken for a little while. I just keep putting it off. When I was younger, it had a crown in it, and I guess they didn't do it properly, and it fell out about a month ago. And now every time I drink something warm or cold, it feels like I got punched in the jaw. So I'm just trying to get it taken care of. Which usually I wouldn't do it right now, but I needed to try to get the appointment taken care of. Because the dentist that I have, he's the only dentist I trust with my teeth. I have had like 2 of them pulled. And he's the only one I trust because the only other dentist I've ever gone to that's had to remove one of my teeth, they sat there drilling it for about 2.5 hours and left me in agony. Go have fun with your Yuri lulz. And this dentist, which isn't that far from where I live, is able to go into someone's mouth, see the tooth, and he twists it, and it just pops right out. I know that sounds bad. It doesn't hurt. Please don't call me Zaddy Soan. Why? No one here can call me Daddy or Zaddy. Yuto, no you don't. Bad Yuto. But, search what? Your grandma's climbing on the walls? Oh, well, I guess she's Spider-Woman now. But no, I'm gonna have that tooth pulled. So, there may not be a stream Monday? And I say that tentatively because I really won't be able to talk. Uh, depending on what happens. Now, having said that, depending on how easily the tooth comes out, there may very well be a stream. But I don't want to promise anything. Because I don't know how I'll react to having the tooth yanked. Yep. Have fun, lols. No, Deadpool. My mother just yelled at me for accidentally dropping a plastic cup, and she yelled saying I did on purpose. I would throw one on the ground and look at her and say, haha, yes I did, you're being a jerk. I believe that it's a fire song, but no. Not while I'm streaming. No. Yes, Deadpool, what's up? It's I Hope You Die in a Fire. I don't know the song offhand. No, I don't really. Aw, that's sad. Screams of defeat. Good. Ah, okay. You're a liar. I don't think you're a liar. I think you're just, trying to make an excuse for why you had to vanish for a few minutes. Oh god, my jaw hurts. I really do need to get this tooth looked at. Next story. I don't think you had a kid, especially considering you yourself are not old enough to have a kid. So the next one is a story from Thailand. In the villages of Thailand, the Phi Krasu was a spirit of terrifying duality, a woman in the day and a grotesque floating head with trailing entrails at night. The transformation was not metaphorical, but literal, and those who witnessed it spoke of a mix of fear and awe. By day, she appeared as any ordinary woman. She carried herself with a quiet dignity, moved with a calming grace, and participated in daily life unnoticed. Villagers often remarked on her beauty or simplicity, never suspecting the horror she harbored. No one could know that by the light of the sun, that her sun would detach from her body when darkness fell. At night, Fikarasu's head floated through the air, glowing faintly with an eerie light. Her trailing organs writhed, dripping with blood or other substances, illuminating the path that she took. She moved silently through the village, often towards homes with pregnant women or livestock, drawn by scent and proximity. It is said that those who saw her would suffer illness or misfortune soon after, even if they fled the scene unharmed. The presence of Fikarasu was both literal and symbolic. She represented the consequences of curse, envy, or broken morality in the community. Many believed the curse could be inherited or passed down through secret sins, particularly violations of social or familial duties. Villagers developed precautions to guard themselves and their animals. Garlic, certain amulets, or charms would be placed in homes, and pregnant women were kept inside at night. Dogs and cats were sometimes seen as early warning systems, or used as early warning systems, alerting their masters when the spirit passed near. Accounts detailed the horror of encountering Fi Krasu. Witnesses spoke of the glow of the organs, the unnatural movement of the head, and the smell of decay and copper in the air. Those who attempted to approach were often overcome with nausea or fainted. Some fell ill for days, while livestock would die mysteriously, reinforcing the belief in her curse. The Frikrasu remains a cautionary tale, illustrating how the supernatural was intertwined with moral and communal order. Her existence reminded the villagers that secrecy, envy, or disrespect could always manifest beyond the grave, taking forms that no one could ignore. Why are you? I'm sorry, Yuto. Hello, Sophia. You want milk? Go drink milk. Yeah, no, Dio, please don't call me Zaddy. We've been over this on multiple occasions. I see your messages, Deadpool. I don't think you have a. Oh god, now my YouTube's not letting me look at my community. What? Yeah, Deadpool, if you did, that makes me less likely to believe anything that you say, due to the fact that that now makes me believe that you were your own brother that made the alt to come here and harass people. Now my YouTube's not working. Yeah, I can't look at my own community. If someone sends you this, they either really like pancakes or convicted of 15 war crimes and ask you where your identity. Eric, you know, if you want my identity, you can have it, but you have to assume all of my debt. So it's up to you. There are certain things of mine you can't have, and I have your purse. I have a response to that. Hold on. Let me do this. Hold on. So, Ericing, for the answer to that question is this. Ah, Sophia, you're mean. Also, I never lied about being able to put pictures on screen. I don't know where you got that from, Deadpool. I just can't see my community because it's not letting me load it up. So that's not me lying to you. Alright, Sophia, please speak English with that. Because I know that you're doing that just to make me use Google Translate. Wait, what do you mean? The next story is the Aswang. It's a Philippine story. The song is like that, fair enough. In the Philippine Islands, villagers have long spoken in hushed tones of the Aswang, a creature that blends seamlessly with human society by day, and reveals its true monstrous form by night. Unlike spirits that appear suddenly, the Aswang was cunning, patient, and deeply integrated into life and community. During the daylight hours, an Aswang appeared entirely human. They would live among their neighbors, participate in ceremonies, and even hold positions of trust. By day, their presence offered no hint of their nocturnal deeds, which made detection nearly impossible. By night, however, the Aswang transformed. Its shape-shifting abilities allowed it to assume forms both terrifying and impractical. Sometimes a dog, cat, or wild boar to stalk prey silently. Sometimes a bat or bird to traverse the skies. And sometimes a more grotesque hybrid form that revealed its true hunger. It hunted mostly the unborn, the sick, and the dead, feeding to satisfy the cravings that never ceased. Villagers recount that encounters with an Aswang often begin with subtle signs: the lingering smell of decay, missing animals, or mysterious illnesses. By the time the true nature was realized, someone had already disappeared. The Aswang was patient, sometimes waiting weeks or months for the optimal moment to strike, making it an insidious predator. Communities developed protective measures. Garlic, salt, and holy symbols were placed strategically in homes. Mirrors and iron objects were said to reveal or repel them. Certain incantations were recited, and elders monitored the night closely for any unusual animal behavior that might signal an Aswang's presence. The story of the Aswang served multiple purposes. It enforces moral behavior, a warning against betrayal and greed, and it explains misfortune and loss in a world where illness and death were otherwise mysterious. And it remained the living of the constant, or it reminded the living of the constant presence of vigilance, both in themselves and in their neighbors. Even today, the Aswang continues to haunt the folklore of the Philippines. Its tales remain embedded in warnings to children, teachings in rural villages, and stories passed between generations, an enduring example of how fear, morality, and all other things can cause misfortune. Chimichanga, definitely put third. Jesus. Steals defused, kaboom, still alive, Valentine's going out, but you're still alive, but you guys are horrible. Sophia, please. What do I do on a rainy day? I read, I write, I stream, I drink, and I eat. I feel like this is going to be one of the shorter streams I do, if I'm being real. But I'm going to try to do at least 3 more stories. La Sigunaba. In Central America, villagers whisper of La Sigunaba, a spirit who lures wanderers into danger with her beauty before revealing her horrifying true form. She is often tied to tales of infidelity, betrayal, or neglect, teaching caution to those who stray from moral or social duties. By day, she appears as an attractive woman, sometimes dressed in flowing white garments, her hair long and shining. Travelers, especially men, are drawn to her, enchanted by her beauty and seemingly vulnerable demeanor. She appears near paths, rivers, or forest edges, places where travelers would naturally pause or slow. And as the victim, approaches, she transforms. Her face twists grotesquely, revealing hollow eyes and a gaping mouth, features of a monstrous being. Often, her hair turns into snakes, or her teeth extend unnaturally. God, bro. Creating a visage that freezes the heart. The man who sees her true form is struck by terror and disorientation, often wandering until exhaustion, getting lost, or even dying from panic and exposure. Stories emphasize that she punishes moral failings. Those who are unfaithful, dishonest, or careless are more likely to encounter her. Some visions speak of women cursed for jealousy or unkindness who become the Siganuba, forced to wander eternally in her horrifying form. To protect oneself, locals would perform rituals, carry protective charms, recite prayers, and avoid wandering alone at night. I can't stop yawning. Oh god, where am I? And always respect rivers, forests, and land. Stories of her visitations were passed orally to children and travelers as both warnings and a morality lesson. The legend of La Signuba remains vivid today, embodying lessons about human behavior, respect for nature, and the dangers of wandering from social or moral paths. She is a spirit that blends horror and instruction, a constant reminder that beauty may hide deadly truths and that vengeance is always necessary in the night. Dio, that's not funny. What is wrong with you? Please don't say things like that. Z, if you are here, can you delete those messages? Yes, Deadpool, what? You guys distracted me. That's not even humor, dude. Like, why would you say you were molested at the age of 2 and kidnapped at the age of 4? Like, those are some very fucked up messages, Dio. Yeah, the messages where Dio talked about being molested at the age of 2 and kidnapped at the age of 4. So I had to stab myself twice with my tester because you guys. Yeah, no, it's fucked up. I took care of it. I deleted it. Labuse is a legendary Czech princess and seer, revered as the mythical founder of Prague and the progenitor of Premysl dynasty. Her tale preserved in early medieval chronicles and Czech folklore. It embodies themes of wisdom, prophecy, and the births of a nation. She remains a central symbol of Czech identity and female leadership in myth. The origin is a Bohemian legend from the 8th century. Her father is Duke Krok, ruler of early Bohemia consort, or early Bohemia. The consort is Premysl, the Plomin dynasty. Ah, God, the way you sent this to me was weird, dude. What's AI generated? This, what you sent me? How did you just realize that was AI generated? Wait, Lols, if that's the case, why are me and you still alive? That's a joke. A very bad one. That's valid, Lols. Yes, go eat, Sophia. Wink, 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 wink. Oh, so in my class that I'm in for the academy to be a correctional officer. Hello, Yaya. It's been a few days. Not a super terrible long time, but it has been a bit. Uh, I have started because we've started working with firearms, and they gave us these clay guns, and they're like you have to say "pow pow" whenever you're like doing a fake shot. So the entire time everybody else is doing it, and while I do it, I don't say "pow pow." I just go, and I got the entire class going. If I ever say wink wink like that again, we're breaking up. No. Denied. Yeah, no. I'm from fucking Florida! You know I don't speak that island language, Val. I'm from fucking Florida! Bottle to the face. Love that scene. So lulz. Wouldn't I be the one doing the unzipping in that instance? I just poked myself with a knife in the belly. Don't worry, I'm not bleeding. I have a shirt on for once. What did I call you wrong? Was I not supposed to call you ya ya ya? I'm not gonna make a joke. I'm not gonna make the joke. I'm not gonna make the joke. No, thank you, JJ. Hey, don't forget, once I hit 4,000 watch hours, first off, I'll say thank you. Second off, I have to sing the entire Has Been Hotel original soundtrack, season 1 and 2. That includes Hear My Hope. So you guys gotta start watching. You guys have got to start watching videos that I put up so that way the watch hours go up. Never, Theo. You could not pay me enough to do a face reveal. I actually will, lulz. Also, I like how you ignored my message, lulz. Uh, the top listener for these days, so you can see what to beat. It doesn't tell me the top listener. Uh, no, you didn't respond. It doesn't. It doesn't show me anything. It shows that it only has 26 videos on Soan art. Oh, actually, no. Don't come back. You look at your Discord. It didn't show up on chat. Okay, look. I said JJ. Okay, I didn't even say ya 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 again. I'm going to say ya 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 again as a response to that comment right there, JJ. But no, you're not gonna be mad at the message. No, read the message before you get angry. You will be pleasantly surprised. Read it. Peak name, yes. Nope, it's not.
Wake up.
Okay, hold on. That was really loud, and I'm sorry for no warning. But this is what that made me think of, Dio. So that is a, okay, Yaya, stop. I'm gonna call you Yaya now. You're literally doing this to try to piss me off, and you are actually starting to succeed. Because I've already respected your wishes and I called you JJ. And you proceeded to say that I'm calling you names. So now I'm going to. Okay, Yaya? Having said that, no, it's not reggae. It is the name of a place in Hawaii, I believe. Now, yeah, it's a reggae beat saying the name of it. Because it's the longest thing. Also, Lulz, to answer your statement, I mean, my hand's big enough to probably wrap entirely around your neck. Having said that, eh. Please don't call me Zaddy. Like, Deadpool, we've been over this. Thank you for taking that away. Soan's eye looks like Weezer. I don't know if I should be offended or not. You know what? I stand by this is probably the best response I could ever do. Hey, what are you doing in there by yourself?
Watching porn by yourself.
No!
Now, I'm with the science team! Yeah! No, it didn't censor it. Why did YouTube not censor that? Oh, fuck, I'm crying. Oh, fuck. Oh. JJ, I don't regret anything I say. Very blunt, okay? Like, I've respected you on multiple occasions and everything. And you're trying to piss me off. It's gonna come to the point to where you're going to say the wrong thing, and it's not gonna be me that does something. Also, hello, Chewy. Welcome back. How are you doing? Lowell's over here killing me because he doesn't censor that message. I didn't see your message. You need Aaron Pookie's advice? Oh god, what's going on? What'd I do? And I did. I saw your message. It made me chuckle, but I was in the process of doing something. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get publicly executed again. I can feel it. It was worth it. Oh god. What's the test, lols? I'm locked in. Nope, it didn't send. Okay. Oh wow. Yes, Deadpool. Look, I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, I'm not scared of you. Sure, what's the other song, Deadpool? Oh, God. No, Lols, you were supposed to test my... or test me. Don't be a bully. I'm waiting for your question. If you want to DM it to me, you can DM it to me. And I'll answer your question there. Oh, come on, Lols. Send it to me in the DMs, because I want to know what the question is. Now you've got me curious. I feel like I know the song. Give me a second, I'm thinking. Is it Anastasia? I know it's from Anastasia. Is it Paris? Paris. A beautiful river bridge by a square. Fuck. I don't remember the rest of it. I hear a voice. I'll meet you right there in Paris. Fuck. Oh, it went through, lols. I'm gonna let lols suffer with that, by the way. Is it Paris, Paris, a beautiful river, a bridge by the square, and I hear a voice whisper, I'll meet you right there in Paris, Paris. I don't know what you're talking about, something sending, lols. They are not bunny ears, but thank you. No, I didn't send. The only thing that sent was get on your knees and beg for it. /J. I don't know if that's the one you were trying to send, but that's the one that it sent. That's why I I sent you my response. It doesn't let you talk about breaking my pelvis, but it allows you to talk about talking about breaking my pelvis. Jesus. I don't care, Yaya. I like the ears the way they are. I paid $1.37 to get my ears looking like this, and you know what? I prefer them to the cat ears. At least I'm not called a cat boy anymore. You dingo. I figured you'd read the message, Lulz. The only response I expect you to say, Lulz, is okay. What, Deadpool? You're gonna watch a movie or a play you're gonna audition for soon, so yay, nice. Good luck. Bye, Z. You be safe. No, not that. Yes, right now. Come over. Hands in the air. And now you suffer with knowledge that nobody else should know. You're an idiot. You shoved your face into the pillow and punched it and giggled like an idiot. You're scared. You shouldn't be scared. Grenade! Okay, yeah. You should thank God we're not in the same hemisphere. What, are you just afraid that I would just, like, appear in the same town as you just to say, hello, I'm not Lindsay Lohan? Nobody will get that joke because it's from Jeff Dunham. choose when Batman or Deadpool. It would be Batman because he'd have something from the Tibetan monks. Hello, history. Welcome back. Also, Lulz, I sent you pretty much what would happen. You never knew being self-centered would make an argument stop. I mean, fair enough. Just tell me if that is accurate or not. Look, it's already been pretty well established. Batman is able to take on an outer god because of the Tibetan monks he trained with. We're not going to go into this big debate on who would win, a regenerating asshole or a bat with the abilities to rival Superman, which has already been confirmed to be stronger than literally every single thing in the Marvel Universe. So... yeah, Batman would win. Also, yeah. You're asking me to piss you off, so I'm going to. SCP-682 is Scarlet King's kid, so Scarlet King. No contest. And Dio probably does slam. I don't know enough about JoJo's Bizarre Adventures for it. Okay, see, I was right. I know how things work. Multi-life god. He's not a god, first off. Deadpool is not a god. Very, very easy. He's died in multiple universes. I mean, that would also possibly be true. Okay, there's not going to be any fight on this. I'm going to end this here. I'm going to pull this out. Deadpool dies many times, especially 100% in Deadpool number 6, September 2024. His healing factor was neutralized by a villain named Death Rip. Well, Black Panther doesn't have the same thing. But he's also a lot physically stronger thanks to the, Deadpool's not immortal. He's already been stated of that. Deadpool has died on multiple occasions. Deadpool 250. Deadpool dies when Earth flies in an alternate Earth during Secret Wars. The End. 2020. Deadpool dies with a neutrino bomb. Because you cannot regenerate from a neutrino bomb. Ha! Nerds! Dio over heaven. Low quality pumpkin. Hello. Even I know Dio over Heaven would beat Deadpool. You know what? Yeah, I may be a nerd, but you know what that goes hand in hand with? Being a lab creature. uh, Juggernaut. Yeah, I said exactly what I typed out loud. It's too late. I've already sent it. Right before you said stop typing. No, that one I'm not going to tell the class. See, here's the problem with that Deadpool. I'm actually a fan of Deadpool. Alright, Lols, where's your office? But no, I'm a fan of Deadpool. I just know Deadpool's limits because I've actually done the research. I'm not going to make a joke. I could have made a joke about that. You make things too easy for me to make jokes out of. You need to stop. You should high-key shut up because you're scared of jinxing yourself into becoming a teacher. Ah, that's fine. You could be my teacher anytime. History, I'm not ignoring you. I just didn't see your message. I don't, Anton Chigurh. Wolverine. Hold on. Hold on. Deadpool or Wolverine? It's already been... Okay, no. I wish that I could back you up, Deadpool. But Wolverine has been shown to beat the shit out of Deadpool. He did it in, the freaking Deadpool Wolverine movie. Okay, he could have literally ended him and left him there. Hold on, let me do this. Okay, Deadpool versus Wolverine. What would happen? Wolverine is physically stronger with greater durability, and also has just as good a healing factor. So, especially when he's not fighting the adamantium poisoning. The only reason Deadpool ever wins is due to the fact that he has the only way to actually put down Deadpool with his friggin' sword, Carbonadium, I think it is. You told me great teacher because you apparently am funny, can explain well, and make people actually learn, manage to not take BS without crashing out. Which is good. I think you'd be a good teacher. And I've given you my reason as well. Correct, Jada. Now, having said that, also, Jada, welcome. Having said that, he does that regardless. However, if he didn't have the adamantium skeleton, adamantine, damn something. If he didn't have that skeleton, he would become the feral Wolverine form, which has an even greater healing factor, it is stated, an even greater healing factor than Deadpool. Salamanca twins. So his healing factor is literally being hindered because of the adamantium poisoning. He becomes so fast, so strong, that he literally scares Magneto just by looking at him. He heals pretty much instantly. Deadpool does heal very slow. That is a very canon event. Nerds! Ow. Hello, Black Hat. How are you doing? Hey, at least I can admit that I'm a nerd. And I'm proud of being a nerd. Oh, wait. Have you never... Hold on. Who wants to see what Wolverine looks like without adamantium? And find out why I say he turns into feral pool. Let me show y'all. Yes. Or no, not that. He doesn't turn into that. But he doesn't do that, literally. He does not actually shit on Deadpool. Deadpool would... I'm not gonna make that joke. I was gonna say Deadpool would probably like it, to be fair. Why is it not letting me... Where's a good picture of feral pool? Hold on. Ah, okay, here's a good picture. Okay, so this is what feral pool, or feral Wolverine looks like. Look at that. Tell me that is not badass. That is feral Wolverine. That is him without adamantine. or adamantium, and he literally. Okay, hold on. Let me pull this up. I'm gonna read this word for word. Magneto removed Wolverine's adamantium, notably fatal attractions. He then reverted to his natural bone-clawed state, becoming much faster, more savage, while initially more vulnerable only because his healing factor went haywire. His healing factor, freed from fighting the metal poison, goes into overdrive. So if his bone claws broke, they literally heal like that. He was literally called the most natural fighter. Alright. Now, unfortunately, I am going to end the stream today. And that is because A, I'm tired, B, I want to take a bath, and C, I want to go lay down. Now, having said that, I'm pretty sure Lols might still be here. I'm not sure if she is. Oh, she is still here. Jada, tomorrow I will be live at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, possibly a little bit later. It really just depends. But I will try to go a bit longer tomorrow. Now, having said that, Deadpool, you want me to read your comment? It's all fun and games until Comic Accurate Short King gets shot point blank. Hey, Comic Accurate Short King Wolverine got shot in the face, point blank, with an adamantine bullet. The only thing stated to be able to kill him, and ate that. He got up and walked away. Now, having said that,